What is going on? I'm Zedmont. As you can tell by the bajillion diamonds in the top right-hand corner, this is the dev build. That means this is a quick sneak peek. Now, this sneak peek was brought to you by the letters Z, M, O, T. If you have ever seen Sesame Street, you know exactly what I'm talking about there. Nonetheless, we're going to get into this sneak peek, and it's going to be a quick one. This sneak peek is for the Beastly Mega Crab. If you've never done the Beastly Mega Crab, you're in for a little bit of I don't know if I'd say surprise or treat. This is probably the hardest Mega Crab, and when I say probably, it typically is the hardest Mega Crab, except for these tribes are absolutely out of this world. They are overpowered beyond any tribes I think we've ever had for the Mega Crab, except for maybe some sort of GBE gain tribe or something like that. So Tank Life Leech is going to be the #1 tribe you're going to want to boost. This is so vital. Tanks are the troop for Mega Crab. Definitely going to want to boost Life Leech. Now, Life Leech depends on damage. The more damage you do, the more health you're going to get back. So definitely want to get all sorts of damage statues. I'm going to do something slightly different here. I have got 10 troop health statues just to make this sneak peek extra spicy. That is going to mean that our friend over here, Mr. Private Bullit, is going to have 152,000 health. That means that energy drink for him, which does 42% of his health regeneration, is going to give him 64,000 health back. That is going to be ridiculous and silly. It also means that our tanks in here are going to have 32,400 health per tank. Just absolute ridiculousness. Don't recommend this statue lineup, but I figured, you know what? Let's make it interesting. Let's try something different. Now, Scorcher damage. Scorchers have a very short shelf life on the Mega Crab. Obviously, with that extra damage, they're going to be a little bit extra useful, but Scorchers and tanks, Scorchers don't tend to be all that useful, especially because they're not going to heal themselves, whereas tanks definitely are going to heal themselves. Critter Spawn, also useful, definitely not to the same level as that Tank Life Leech, but still pretty darn awesome. Barrage damage, going to be huge. Obviously, as you get into the Mega Crab, getting rid of shock launchers, getting rid of shock blasters, all sorts of stuff. That tribal barrage damage boost going to be awesome. Anyways, enough blabbering. Let's see if we can find the Mega Crab amongst all of these bases. There it is. We're going to start at stage 50. There are no boosts. This should be the Mega Crab championships of the world, if you ask me. There's no boosts, there's no gimmicks, there's no GBE abilities. It's just you versus the Mega Crab. This is the hardest diamond trophy to get. This is the hardest legendary trophy to get. But of course, the tribes took away from that a little bit, which is going to give everyone extra stages and extra powder. So when I say took away, I mean not really. Anyways, let's have a look at stage 50, see what 10 boosted troop health statues has to do. I was tempted to go with 11, but I just couldn't bring myself to tickle the Mega Crab with no troop damage statues. Every time I see a player on the real game playing with no troop damage statues, it just blows my mind. Quite often you'll see players who have 10 GBE statues, 11 GBE statues, and I love damage. Even right now, we are watching these tanks, and they don't have nearly the damage that we need, so they're not going to heal. They're going to have tons and tons of health, but they're not going to heal all that much, so I highly recommend going for damage. The more damage you can have, the better off you're going to be. We are just scratching the surface with our tanks. If we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 4, 5, 6, 7 damage statues, we'd be already finished this map. We would have finished stage 50 by now. We'd be on to stage 60. Obviously, not quite, but there is a little bit of truth to that. The more damage you have, the faster you're going to burn through levels, the more solos you're going to have, and the more life leech you're going to get all in the process. So if you're wondering what sort of statues you should go with for this crab, damage trumps all. It's probably 7 damage, 1 GBE, and then, what's that, 3 troop health? Like something along those lines. Damage, damage, damage. I can't wait to use an energy drink. I've never gotten back 63,000 health with one energy drink before. That's absolutely ridiculous. Now, obviously, you don't need to have 10 crazy red boosted statues, but you do need to follow some simple stuff for the Mega Crab. One thing to be aware of, on the Mega Crab, we still have no grapplers. I really would like to see some grapplers on the Mega Crab. I think it would hugely change how the Mega Crab is played. Currently, you just get Bullit out front, your tanks heal themselves a bit, Bullit takes some shots to the face, and you solo some maps. So adding grapplers would definitely change things up a little bit, because as soon as Bullit gets grabbed by that grappler over there, trouble would be had. So that is one slight change I'd like to see made to the Mega Crab. Maybe just for like the beastly Mega Crab, because it's the hardest of the hard. It would be a good way to experiment, perhaps, but it would definitely be frustrating. Mega Crabs changed dramatically as soon as Heroes came out, though, so really, I don't know what the answer is. Mega Crab, always a good time. This one, I like this one the best, because it means that there's going to be no one on stage 426, because there just isn't the GBE abilities. You're not remote hacking things. It's just you, your troops, your statues against the Mega Crab, and I really do enjoy that. As you can see by these statues, actually, you know what? I'm going to switch it up, and we'll come back with 10 damage statues after this. That's the beauty of the dev build. Not a lot to do on this dev build. I know at least 16 of you are going to say, how do I download this hacked APK? And I'm going to tell you, you just need to make like 1,000 videos and get 10,000 subscribers, and then the dev build is yours. It is that simple, folks. Nonetheless, let's flare that core, because I just can't wait any longer. This is getting to be slightly ridiculous. Getting Bullit onto that core. We are getting incredibly low on time, all because we're trying to tickle this core down. I don't know if we're actually going to get it down. It's going to be incredibly close, and this is with 11 boosted red statues. So if you're going to go red, I would highly suggest leaning more towards damage, because otherwise it's going to be incredibly difficult to solo stage 50 with only 1 damage statue. That was a tough solo. We lost a bunch of tanks, and I am willing to bet that you guys will lose fewer tanks because you'll have more damage, and those tanks will heal themselves more. So definitely, if you have medium to high level tanks, make sure you boost that. Obviously, you need to be HQ 18 to have tribes. If you have any questions at all about the tribes, do not hesitate. Do ask. I will fill you in with as many details as you need. I'm going to quickly pause, then we'll come back and we'll have new fancy statues. And just like that, with the power of the internet, we've got all sorts of troop damage statues added to our pile. By the way, that took way longer than expected. I forgot that when you go to delete a Guardian, you got to sit there and wait for that timer to go away. Anyways, we are going to jump into stage 60. We're going to use some diamonds from our cache, and get back into this Mega Crab. We're going to do stage 60 right quick and see just how much better all sorts of damage will do for us. So that barrage, probably a silly maneuver, especially because we do have that barrage tribe. So probably want to save our barrages for things like buildings, but you know what? Let's get all of our tanks in here and see just what can be done. Now, critters, look how many critters we get popped. Hopefully you guys have upgraded your barrage since getting HQ 24. Hopefully you've also upgraded your artillery and your barrage and your critters, because all of those things, except for artillery, are going to be drastically improved by the tribes. So as you can see here, we are just melting through stuff way faster than last time, way better than last time. Let's watch those. You see this? Look how quickly those tanks are healing themselves. Obviously, you need them to not be shocked. The thing about Life Leech is that as soon as they're shocked, they're not healing themselves and they're just taking damage, which is not good at all. So be very aware of shock launchers and shock blasters. And shock mines, I suppose. Anything with the word shock in it. Keep your tanks moving forwards. Keep them from getting shot in the face. Having Bullit on the left with all of those cannons on the right, not a great idea. Now, obviously, with this sneak peek, we've had to kind of try to make some spice. Obviously, this is a sneak peek of the lightest sort of variety. There is nothing new in this Mega Crab. We've all hoped. A lot of us have done the Beastly Mega Crab before. If this is your first ever Beastly Crab, do let me know in the comments. Obviously, there are some new players. Boom Beach still attracting a ton of new players, which is fantastic, but a good chunk of us have likely played this before, so there's not a ton of surprises here. The nice wrinkle here is definitely the tribes. Otherwise, the Beastly Crab is going to be exactly the same as we've done before. The levels are going to be slightly different, obviously, but overall, this is the Beastly Crab. There is no shenanigans. There's no fancy GBE abilities or changing bonuses or anything like that. It's all exactly as advertised, which is kind of nice. You know exactly what you're getting into, and you just got to go and punch it directly in the mouth. We are going to solo stage 60 as well, which is going to be, I would be very surprised if we didn't solo stage 60. I can say it is very unlikely that we would have soloed this with different statues. Now, for my next Mega Crab sneak peek, let me know if you'd like to see me do like the same levels with different statue layouts. That was kind of what I was thinking of, doing, say, for example, 11 troop damage statues on one and then 11 troop health statues on another, because unless there is some new hotness coming to the Mega Crab, it's all about, for me, just trying to mix things up, bring you guys new goodness for the Mega Crabs. So, Sculptor, goodness, Mega Crab, goodness. We only lost 2 tanks. So, if we go back and look at our attack log, as you can see here, we lost 8 tanks on stage 50 with a whole bunch more damage. We only saved 2. So hopefully, if you're going to change your statues at all, you go towards damage, because that damage makes all the difference in the world. Now, one other thing to be aware of, obviously, you're going to be getting some big upgrades in, but do consider spending some raw crystals. See if you can refill those storages, because likely, if you're anything like me, you've just spent all sorts of raw crystals boosting up all of the fun things. Anyways, that is it for me. As always, keep booming those beaches. If you have suggestions, comments, feedback for Mega Crab sneak peeks, would love to hear them. Trying to keep things interesting, trying to keep things new. If you think I am, great. If you have other ideas, also great. Otherwise, I shall talk to you soon. As always, thanks for coming in. I'm Zed Mott. Peace!